Hello again. This is part two for anybody joining, and I'll just wait for people to join. So welcome back everybody. If you're just joining, this is actually part two, which won't make a lot of sense. So I'd encourage you to watch part one, which got interrupted by the heat. I don't think my phone likes the heat. So I'm now in the shade and back. So apologies for that interruption. We'll just wait for more people to come in. But we were nearly there in terms of the live. I just really wanted to explain how it's going to be sort of interpreted, this passageway, in a number of ways, and how it leads to September. So just waiting for a few more people to come in, and just do a very short part two. So as I said before, just to repeat, if you're just coming on here for the first time, I'd recommend that you watch part one first. These sunflowers are getting in the way of me. So I'm in the shade. So yeah, watch part one first, otherwise this is not going to make any sense. I'm just going to carry on from part one. So the point of the passageway is to take you into a new perception, which means from a consciousness level, you're literally moving from one light node to another light node in your journey. And then there'll be another light node after that. But this is really significant because it's arrived for the whole of the collective to potentially move forward, or into a higher frequency of their actual light node, wherever they are on their path, or in their life. But how it's going to present is different for everybody. But the thing is when things come at you from the illusion, from the dream, we always react first primarily from our personality mode. You have to excuse me because it's actually really hot under these sunflowers, more hot than out there. So, so sorry. What was I saying? Whenever anything is presented to us that we're not expecting, which is all about this passageway, okay, what will present will be unexpected for everybody. It could be something collective that happens on the worldwide scene, or if you're not really paying too much attention to the world stage, then it's going to happen to you personally. But it's going to happen anyway at some point during your sine wave, during your transitory period from your light node to the next light node. And so, we always, because we've experienced this human form as the dominant part of us in this reality, we always tend to react from the human first, from the emotional first, from the mental first. And that will depend on each one's personality. Okay? So, somebody could have something presented to them, and let's just take something generic, where the same thing is presented to 10 different people, the same situation, and one person, because of their personality, might go, oh, and run away in fear. So they'll run away from a situation they've been placed into. Another person, the same situation, could react with fight mode, or aggression or anger, and fight whatever it is that's coming to them in that situation. Another person might react with just emotional imbalance, stress, anxiety, worry, all of those things. So it really depends on the individual personality as to how you initially react to anything that's going to get presented to you that you're just not expecting. Okay, so just take that on board, because it's okay. It's absolutely normal for that to happen, for you to be in your human experience through the personality. It's normal. So there's nothing wrong with that. But then, when you've had that human moment, it's then to kind of, if you can, move yourself out, away from your perspective of human personality, emotional, mental mind, and just observe yourself and your reactions. It's almost like you're watching yourself from a different perspective. And then from that perspective, you're detached from the emotions or reactions or mental activity you initially had when something happened to you. Yeah. So it in this period, it really is, what do you want to make of it yourself? Because people will just react from their human and stay in their human. That's inevitable. There's 8 billion people in the world, but you don't have to. You can find the gold or the jewel within that presentation, because it is your consciousness always wanting to expand you more into your own consciousness. So there's always something of a gift in every single situation, as long as you're prepared to look at it, to face the mirror, to delve deep within you. And the way to do that, the easiest way to do that, is to observe yourself. So it's like you become the observer of your human. I'll just like do play acting or just pretend, and if I came out of my humanness, I'd go, oh okay, so look at you just then, Mandy, you reacted with worry. You spent 2 hours worrying. So it's almost like I'm looking at myself from my consciousness, looking at the human that spent 2 hours worrying about something. Do you see? Now, from that perspective, it's very neutral. It's very harmonious. You're just observing the human and how the human reacted. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because in this passageway, that's why the fire is so present. It's because our consciousness is wanting us to finally get clear of certain parts of our humanness, our personality, that no longer serve us, that we're not taking with us. Okay? We're not taking it with us. We're not taking those parts with us. I'm not taking worry with me. Thank God. But I'm not taking worry with me. And so, these aren't parts of the personality that exist in higher dimensional, say 5D. So things have to go. They have to be seen. And how are they seen? By things being presented into our reality that we then react to, and then can observe our own reaction. So we are literally, the fire is there in this 2 to 3 week period for everybody, and it will get presented on different days for every individual, because everybody's on their own sine wave within this passageway. So why is this happening? We're getting ready for September, basically. It's a good thing. She says, it is a good thing. September, it's harvest time. If you'd have said to me 10 years ago that every September we harvest the sum total of the labours that we put in the whole year that we lived, I wouldn't have believed you. I'd have thought that a bit woo-woo, because I was unawakened 10 years ago. I literally, profoundly experience the harvest time every single year, because it's when I woke. on the 22nd of September. I can categorically know that the autumn equinox is the point where we can potentially, each and every one of us, shift in consciousness to another stage in our embodiment journey, or in, the Essene ways or historical ways. You could say that this is our initiation stage presented by our consciousness to decide and choose the highest reaction for our own self, the highest reaction, which is love, which is neutrality,